Welcome back from Mentor English. Today the topic is origin and evolution of language. The topic is very significant, and before going to start, I would like to introduce myself. Motivational speaker, leadership business coach, master trainer, language trainer, vlogger, novelist, Professor M. Raza, and this is our channel for the services of English language and literature, and we have a channel by the name of Murshid Urdu Professor M. Raza or Mentor Urdu for the services of Urdu language and literature, and we have a particular channel for the services of classical Islamic sciences and philosophy and logic by the name of Jamed Darul Shaykhul Islam. So this is our English services channel, Mentor English Professor M. Raza, for the services of English language and literature. And today the topic is that origin and evolution of language. So let's get started. If there is one thing on which all linguists are fully agreed, it is that the problem of the origin of human speech is still unsolved. Many kinds of theories have been put forward. Some are traditional and mystical, like the legends prevailing among many primitive groups. That language was a gift from gift from the gods. Here, gods mean this is from Greek mythology, and from the gods. Other theories may be described as quasi scientific. One hypothesis, originally sponsored by Darwin, is to the fact that speech was in origin nothing but mouth pantomime, in which the vocal organs unconsciously attempted to mimic gestures by the hands. The ancient Greek philosophers who gave some attentions to the problem of the origin of the language were led by their speculation. Some of them held that language had come into being out of inherent necessity or nature, while others believed it had arisen by convention or agreement. How this agreement had been reached by people who had no previous means of mutual understanding, they did not explain. In the past, a number of attempts were made to isolate children they before they begin talking, to see whether they would evolve a language of their own. In recent cases of children who had reportedly pardon me reportedly grown among wolves, dogs, or monkeys, have shown that the human child, though ignorant of human language, when found, takes to it readily and with seeming pleasure, something that his animal playmates are incapable of doing. Animal cries, whether we choose to describe them as language or not, are characterized by invariability. Let me read it again. Pardon me. Invariability and monotony. Dogs have been barking, cats mewing, lions roaring, and donkeys braying in the same fashion since time immemorial. Human language, in contrast with animal cries, displays infinite variability, both in time and space. Activity and change may be described as the essence of all living languages. The language is an expression of human activity, and as human activity is forever changing, the language even changing the language, even changing with it. It seems that the language changes least rapidly when its speaker are isolated from the communities, and most rapidly when they come across foreign people to crossroads of the world. Whether much or little, all languages change in due course of time. Two different modes of change in language are recognized. The change may arise very gradually, almost imperceptibly imperceptibly, and be as gradually and unconsciously adopted by the speakers, or it may arises suddenly as the result of an innovation made by some speakers who has prestige in the community and is therefore widely imitated. It is estimated by scientists that some 10,000 of years elapsed between its beginning of society and art and probably speech, and the first appearance of the writing. During these long centuries, the language continued to evolve, but we have no record of let me pardon me. Let me repeat this paragraph particularly. It is estimated by scientists that some 10,000 of years elapsed between its beginning of society and art, and probably speech, and the first appearance of the writing. During these long centuries, the language continued to evolve, but we have no record of evolution. The oldest languages of Indo-European family of which we have records are Sanskrit, Greek, and Latin in the order given. The approximate dates for each are 2000, 1400, and 500 BC respectively. As for as for the speech of infants, observers are still unable to agree in their views. However, no views helps us in solving the problem of the origin of speech, save from what concerns the baby's obvious limitation of the language sounds. It is very difficult to explain the process of association of sounds and sound sequences with ideas and concepts, which seems basic to the human language. If all that is needed for language is the process of imitation, why do cats and dogs who have been living with us and observing us for many centuries fail to imitate our language when we imitate their so well? So we have particularly discussed that what is the origin and what is the evolution of language in detail, and the main part is important. I would like to repeat it. The oldest language of Indo-European family of which we have records are Sanskrit, Greek, and Latin. These three important languages are based languages or the mother languages for many languages. And here are two languages is not given. I would like to add these two languages. They are very important. Number one, Persian language, and number two, Hebrew language. These two are very important, and these pack of five languages are the base of most languages available in this planet, or particularly the in this planet particularly, and the source or mother source of every language available on the earth right now. So it was the topic. Before going, I would like to request you that must subscribe and hit the bell icon, and also subscribe Mentor Urdu, Murshid Urdu, and also subscribe Jamia Darul Uloom Shaykhul Islam. Let me go now and say with me: do something more for humanity, do something more for knowledge and practices. Have a good day.